Could artificial intelligence damage video game industry beyond repair? The short answer is yes. But if you're looking for the short answer, that's the quickest path to misinformation. I want to talk to you about ChatGPT, and I'm sure, if you are here at all watching this, you know already what ChatGPT is. Maybe you don't know what it does, maybe you don't know how to use it, but you definitely understand the concept of it, I'm pretty sure, so I'm not gonna go over that specifically. I will read out what Google tells you when you Google it, because I think most of you probably do that, and I just want to quickly recap what Google actually tells you that ChatGPT is. So, Google says it's an artificial intelligence chatbot developed by OpenAI, released in 22 November, built on top of ChatGPT families, all the stuff, you don't care. Has been fine-tuned using both supervised and reinforced learning techniques. What this means, to be very basic, because I don't want to bore you with any details, and I'm sure if you want the details you'll find better channel for it. Basically, ChatGPT is a platform or an app, whatever you want to call it, and everybody who uses it basically contributes to the all-over intelligence of this thing. The application is for free to use. There is, of course, paid versions of it. You can pay for almost any of the AI services. There is a lot of services that AI can do. AI basically can create create an art, create specific prompts, and these prompts will make an art. And because it's AI, it's not perfect. You have to know how to use it. You need to know what commands to use in order to create something you envision. All of these informations that I just told you is probably not anything that you want to hear, and that's kind of why I'm very vague about it. I don't think this is something you would go here specifically to listen to. So with that out of the way, AI or chatbots in general, just a computer that can actually understand the words you are typing in a chat. These things are all over the place these days, and you can use them, some of them for free, some of them are paid, but some of them are insane. Some of them are very good at what they do when they want to do it right. And one of the biggest ones, like I said, is ChatGPT. It has come to the point where this algorithm, this program, this chatbot is not intelligent in the right way, in the way that you may think, but it's intelligent enough. It's in its own right intelligent enough. It can create a program. It can, as long as you tell it in the right way, in the right order, you can tell it make a program, buy the new console the second it comes up in a store. It's gonna need to create a script, because you need to hook it up to a website, all these things. It will understand all these things because it has learned it. It has a connection to the internet, so if it doesn't know it, it can learn it as well through that. And you can probably feel your mind racing every time you hear about this, and you are thinking all the ways to abuse it. And there's definitely a reason for concern in that area, because this is a tool. It's not self-conscious and it's not thinking on its own, but it's a very useful tool if you are not very good at programming, but you're malicious and you want to do malicious things with these kinds of chatbots. It's definitely in the realm of possibility it will become dangerous. So with that out of the way, what does this have to do with gaming, and why is it dangerous for gaming industry? Because there's a lot of applications you can think of right now that are dangerous, just plain dangerous. There are things that you can do just with a little bit of a code that can do terrible things potentially, right? But that's all in the realm of in real life events, in things like that. Why would we be thinking about gaming here? Well, one of the things about being able to tell something to, create a code basically in any way, is that it can alter and create from nothing things that studios take years to make, it can make things that are gonna be able to react to countermeasures to it. If I would give you an example, there is a number of open source anti-cheat programs, for example, and these programs use algorithms. Very often it's just simple code, but the code, it's still complicated enough so that the cheaters have a hard time cracking it, but it needs to be simple in a way that it's not overly complex as to interfere with the game. And if you manage to get, either it's an open source program, which is, then it's gonna be easy to get a code for it, but maybe it's a different type, maybe it's not open source, maybe it's very in-house type of anti-cheat. And these programs, when they get leaked, when somebody gets hands on them, these programs can be altered by an AI. You can simply give this chatbot instructions: take this piece of code, take this material and reverse engineer it, make it so that it doesn't work against what I'm making here. And it goes further than that. That's just one very simple idea that maybe it wouldn't work that way at all. You don't know, right? Now we are not there exactly to do that, but one day. But that's not it, right? That's not all of it. There's things that can happen with an AI like this, that for example, it will come to a point when even for the companies it will be easier to make code for certain things, like maybe an anti-cheat, or maybe some very regular things like maybe the net code for a multiplayer game. It will become easier, and it will become a standard to use these chatbots, these advanced AI machines, to make the code for them, even for things like this. And inherently there is a problem with an idea of letting a chatbot create code for things like this. Every piece of software, code, anything that an AI creates, when a human being codes something, just makes something, when it's art, the code, or just simple story, right? You want to write a book, you want to write a 100-page long book, you can let the chatbot do it. Is it gonna be any good? Maybe you won't even realize it's an AI created text. There is a lot of different ways you can use chatbot to create homework for you, for example. There has been a lot of instances of that. There has been instance where somebody apparently created a simple prompt to make a human being, basically, by imitating some kind of girl on the internet, on Reddit, and that AI masked as this woman basically managed to sell AI generated nudes of that person and made money off of it. And again, hearing stuff like this, maybe your mind starts racing once more about all the different possibilities. Are we in a simulation? All these different thoughts. So it's probably difficult for you to find, any kind of value thinking of what it's gonna do to gaming. But all of it is connected. All of this is one big connection. How far is all of this gonna go? How far are we gonna let it go, right? Right now, the biggest problem that I can see with something like the chatbot, the ChatGPT, or the other ones that create AI art. There's a bot that can recreate any text into very realistic voice that you can upload. So you can basically let the bot speak as any person that has a recorded voice. You could definitely do it with my voice, for example. All these different things are testament to one thing, and it's that at some point the work of these machines will be almost indistinguishable from humans. It's not there yet right now, and we will probably be looking for a bit before it's in that level. But once it's there, companies will not be able to handle themselves. They won't be able to stray away from using what is essentially better and free workforce to create their titles, their games, and every code that is, you know, inside these games. We are still far away from it, but there's one thing right now that can happen right now, today, that you know, nobody really cares that much about, I feel like, and I don't think you need to be worried about it, but it's something that I think at the same time we should keep an eye on, and I don't think anybody really cares. And it's that you can make a lot of different prompts to a lot of different bots, and you can hook them to each other. For example, you can make, for example, the ChatGPT bot, you can let it create a short description of a scene, right? If it's a movie scene, anything. You can give it a prompt, it will make it. Now, that prompt that bot will make can be hooked up to a different AI machine. That machine is hooked up to a gaming engine. This is something I've seen literally, like, it's a thing. It's not me making it up, it's a thing. I will show it if I will find the footage. You can do that, and the AI will create that scene inside a game engine. So now we have literally two different chatbots working for, you know, a person that just, you know, just thought, hey, maybe we'll create a game about you know, in the middle of a city we have a character that, you know, goes for a walk, but I don't want to do any of the work. I don't want to like make the map, I don't want to make the story, I don't want to make the dialogue, I don't want to create the characters textures. I just had a simple idea, let's see where we go with it. And the bots can do all of it. The bots can make textures, the bots can recreate the scene the way another bot thought it could be cool to look like, and from there is not a lot left for the human to actually contribute to it. Obviously right now most of the stories the chatbot makes isn't that good, isn't, you know, very, it sometimes is believable as long as it's short. There's a lot of songs created, song lyrics created by the chatbot that is, you know, impressive. It can definitely pass as a decent song, all these things, but it's not there where we can say, yes, we need to start using, you know, an openAI engine, and we need to stop hiring people, we need to stop paying salaries for people who can't do any better than a bot that will do everything for free in a fraction of the time. Now, a lot of videos that you watch right now on YouTube will almost always end one way, and I feel like I don't wanna, you know, I don't wanna copy any of these channels, but the idea is great and I actually had a lot of fun with it. What I'm talking about is that a lot of these channels will end or start the video with simply giving you a taste of what an AI can do, because I have been talking about this whole time about this concept that seems almost insane to some of you, but this is a game, a concept for an FPS game that the ChatGPT has created for me in under 5 seconds, and another bot called getanamg.ai or something like that. I will try to leave a link to that if I will find the website again. In combination of these two websites, I have created a concept for a new FPS game and also a poster for it. I will now read you out what the chatbot actually created as a narrative, and I will, you know, give you some of the images, some of the posters that the other AI has created for me based on this concept the ChatGPT made. Before I start reading it out, you will notice in a lot of these posters, which I think are great, actually great looking, but they are you will notice that the AI art just can't handle text. Like no matter what you do, it cannot make an actual comprehensive text. I don't know why. I'm not a programmer. I have no idea what's the problem. I've never seen an AI actually create a text. Literally, even if I type out, I want you to write these letters in this order, it won't be able to. I don't know why that is, but it's interesting. So definitely you can tell it's, you know, made by an AI. It's not a human made thing, but it's pretty damn close, and I think you would all be completely, taken away by it. If you've seen it in a story, you would not question it at all. So here we go. The video game title is Revenant Rising. The narrative is that in the year 2055, humanity is on the brink of collapse. The world's resources have been depleted, the climate has caused catastrophic natural disasters, and political instability has led to global conflict. In the midst of this chaos, a mysterious organization known as Revenant has emerged, claiming to have the technology to restore order to the world. As a member of an elite military unit, you are tasked with infiltrating Revenant's stronghold and uncovering their true motives. Using cutting-edge weapons and advanced technology, you must battle your way through hordes of Revenant soldiers and uncover the truth behind their plans for the future of humanity. But as you progress deeper into the heart of Revenant's operation, you begin to realize that things are not as they seem. The line between good and evil becomes blurred as you uncover a web of corruption and betrayal, and you must decide whether to follow orders blindly or risk everything to uncover the truth. For gameplay, Revenant Rising is a first-person shooter that combines fast-paced action with a deep narrative. Players will have access to a variety of futuristic weapons and gadgets, including drones, hacking tools, and a high-tech armor. The game will feature both single-player and multiplayer modes with a range of missions and objectives to complete. In a single-player mode, players will progress through a series of story-driven missions, each with its own unique challenges and objectives. In multiplayer mode, players will be able to team up with friends and compete against other players in a variety of game modes, including Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, and more. Overall, Revenant Rising is an action-packed FPS that combines intense gameplay with a gripping story, creating a truly immersive gaming experience set in the dark and dangerous future. Now, you may notice one thing about this whole thing, and I personally feel like it's very impressive, but while it is impressive, it's actually very ordinary type of a narrative or just in general an FPS game, which is kind of to be expected because this tool literally learns from, you know, other things. It's not gonna have a unique thought. That's not how this works. It's not an actual artificial intelligence. It's not a sentient thing that can create things. It can only copy and adjust and make it seem like its original idea, but you can tell from what I just read you, this is not gonna be original. And honestly, it's probably not something you would even be interested in that much. Maybe from some of the pictures that I showed you, it will look like something you would try, but it's probably not something that would like be like, oh my god, that's so unique and amazing. Yeah, because this is a bot that will make things up out of other things. It's not gonna make, it doesn't have a creative tool in itself. It just uses other people and other ideas that exist already. So, you know what? I will take it. I wanted to show you that, in a couple of years, we will probably start getting to the point where there will be some indie games on Steam for like $2 that will be created by, in a big part by an AI, you know, when it comes to the name, the narrative, textures, story, everything. All these things can be easily be done by an AI. Like I said, not to mention things like anti-cheat codes and how to battle cheaters, which can possibly in the future be much more intimidating and much worse with introduction of a software like this that can literally on the spot make up things that, you know, some of you may not even be able of. And I think that's a good stopping point. I don't think there is much more to say about this, honestly. Either way, I feel like especially the ChatGPT thing, is simply amazing. I think it's just great to just interact with it. I strongly recommend you try it out. Just talk to it or say, hey, give me a prompt, do whatever you want with it, and just see how it's just gonna do things like this. I'm like, if you go there right now and literally tell it what I told it, which was I just typed, I want you to create a concept for an FPS video game set in near future, create narrative and a title of the game. That's all I told it. And what I read you just now was all it wrote. And it's not easy. And I'm sure if I type the same exact thing again, it would come up with a different thing. It will be probably like similar, but it won't be the same. It'll be different title and probably different, little bit different way of addressing everything. And you know, I don't think it's scary. It's just that I think it's good idea to be aware that these things are out there and they are not, you know, some sci-fi made up thing. It's very cool, but also with that comes caution. And I really don't feel like people have quite the caution they should have about this just yet. Alright, that's all from me, and I will see you in the next one.